Your intentions are in the right place. We just need you to move a bit quicker because times are tough right now. They want to cut from our healthcare system $4.1 billion. I mean, if anybody thinks that that's not going to cut doctors out of our healthcare system, that that's not going to fire nurses out of our healthcare system, they need to give their heads a shake. Just today, this morning, in the debate with David Eby and Sonia Fernstow, he doubled down and said that he's not going to enforce. The other day they were called BC United, another day they were called the BC Liberals. We're seeing more of the same people, but their trajectory is charting off in a very dangerous direction. You know, gender diverse, racially diverse candidate team than any other party. You know, I think we're 60% women.
ਦੋਸਤੋ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਨੀ ਆ ਆਮਨਾ ਸ਼ਾਹ ਹੋਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ। ਆਮਨਾ ਸ਼ਾਹ ਸਰੀ ਸਿਟੀ ਸੈਂਟਰ ਤੋਂ NDP ਵੱਲੋਂ ਉਮੀਦਵਾਰ ਨੇ। ਰਾਜਨੀਤੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਈ ਅਹੁਦਿਆਂ ਤੇ ਵੱਖ-ਵੱਖ ਅਹੁਦਿਆਂ ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੰਮ ਕੀਤਾ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। NDP ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੇ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਇਸ ਵਾਰੀ ਚੋਣ ਲੜ ਰਹੇ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਆਮਨਾ ਸ਼ਾਹ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਵੈਲਕਮ ਟੂ ਦ ਸ਼ੋ ਆਮਨਾ ਐਂਡ ਥੈਂਕਸ ਫॉर ਜੁਆਇਨਿੰਗ ਅਸ।
Thank you so much for having me.
How is going your campaign?
Energetic community of Surrey City Centre. You know, we have a very diverse community out in Surrey City Centre, and it's a very great mix of ethnic backgrounds, culture, and also different socioeconomic classes. So there's a great big mix, and therefore the needs are also very diverse. But what we've really come to find is that everybody is united in the sense they want a better future for themselves and for their family. So as we've been campaigning over the last few days and over the many days coming up, I'm sure that we're going to hear lots more voices, and we're actually going to secure a lot more votes as well.
And when you're going door to door, what are the main people's concerns? What are their issues? Do they talk about their problems, and if they talk, then what are those problems actually?
Yeah, and they speak very candidly actually, and they share some very personal stories with me. And I think some of the main issues that have arisen is this is a challenging time for families and for British Columbians and for Canadians across the country. You know, we're seeing global inflation, we've seen the costs of everyday goods rise, and so families need some real concrete support from government. The other issue that's come up is healthcare. You know, we're facing a doctor shortage across the province, across the country, and so some families are feeling the effects of that as well. And really, the conversations that we're having at the door also tell us, where residents are telling us that, hey, we agree with what it is that you're doing. Your priorities are in the right place. Your intentions are in the right place. We just need you to move a bit quicker because times are tough right now. And I couldn't agree more. You know, on some of these items, we've taken some concrete action right in Surrey City Centre itself. I mean, we're seeing expansions to the Surrey Memorial Hospital, this brand new acute care tower. We're seeing expansions to schools in Surrey City Centre. And really, the ICBC rebates, the lower insurance costs, you know, no tolls on the bridge, families not having to pay MSP, all that brings money back into families' pockets. And really, families have noticed that. People have noticed that. And, you know, they want us to continue on measures similar to those to help families. And I think, you know, when our platform is released, they'll see a lot more of that, including some of the announcement that David Eby and the BC NDP team have made up until now.
As people, they are talking about the healthcare system. Don't you think there is still, it's a very big problem when sometimes doctors of the Surrey Memorial Hospital, they talked about the long wait time and all that. Do you have any solid plan for that?
Yeah, so there's multiple factors that affect a good healthcare system, that impact a good healthcare system. And we're focused on a multiple and variety of different solutions that can act together to strengthen our healthcare system. So when we're talking about a short-term vision around really adding another acute care tower to Surrey Memorial Hospital, increasing capacity, increasing specialty care right here in Surrey. When we're talking about a new Cloverdale Hospital, that's that's going to have another emergency room, that's going to have a cancer care center so that people don't have to travel so far to get cancer care. All of these matter. But we're also thinking about a long-term vision plan. You know, we're introducing the SFU medical school. It's already been announced right here in Surrey. We want homegrown doctors. We want our medical students to study here, to practice here, and to be integral parts of our community here and contribute just more than in their professional life, but also give back to their community as well. So we do have a concrete plan. It requires investments in our healthcare system, and that's something that John Russet and the BC Conservatives do not want to do. They want to cut from our healthcare system $4.1 billion. I mean, if anybody thinks that that's not going to cut doctors out of our healthcare system, that that's not going to fire nurses out of our healthcare system, they need to give their heads a shake. And I can't imagine that we're even talking about a two-tier healthcare system here in Surrey and in BC. I mean, we're drawing from the same pool of doctors here. This is not going to fix the healthcare system. But the investments that we're putting in, the short-term vision, the long-term vision, that is how you build a strong healthcare system.
Bruce Ralston, he is a seasoned politician, and how do you see filling in his shoes?
Yeah. So when I think about Bruce Ralston, and have had the privilege to have been able to work with him over the years, you know, I have big shoes to fill, whether it be literally or figuratively, right? So really, being a new candidate, being a woman of color in this seat, there are some very, very large expectations that are placed on me. But you know what? I have worked very, very hard to get to where I am today. You know, I'm a first-generation immigrant to this country. I came here when I was a teenager. And having the opportunity to work in government, I have never said no to any single professional opportunity that has, you know, come my way. And I'm grateful for all of the opportunity that I've had. Bruce Ralston, he has been mentoring me. He has been, you know, showing me the art of really understanding people, because, you know, you can't be a person of the people until you are one of them, until you understand them. And really, the wisdom that he's imparted on me, you know, there's no substitute for that. So I understand that I have a big task ahead of me, but I know that I have the support from my BC NDP team, the leadership from David Eby, the mentorship from Bruce Ralston. So, you know, I feel very safe, very supported, and I'm excited for the future.
You talked about the diversity in your riding, and how do you think racial and gender diversity is important in the candidates in Surrey and all over the BC?
Yeah, so diversity in general is exceptionally important, especially racial diversity and gender diversity. You know, as I said, first-generation immigrant to this country, faced challenges that many others like me have faced in the past. And we need voices like that at the table, because I'm sure you've heard the saying that if you're not a part of the conversation, you become a subject of the conversation. So it's exceptionally important, whether it be from my community, my broader South Asian community, from the women's community, for us to be at the decision-making tables, because we bring with us not just a set of lived experiences, but a set of professional experience as well. A professional experience that is seen through a particular lens that a lot of others experience as well. So this is important to shaping and guiding the way in which we develop policy in government. And I'm so proud to say that we have the most, you know, gender diverse, racially diverse candidate team than any other party. You know, I think we're 60% women, and in our caucus as well. And we have amazing heavy hitters, Nikki Sharma. We've got Rachna Singh right here in Surrey, who have taken on such incredible responsibilities and have done such a commendable job. This is what young women look up to. And we want to make sure that we exemplify that inclusion in our society through our representation in government.
You're in the politics and with the NDP from long time, and how you see this time the political scenario of British Columbia, because you are competing with the BC Conservatives.
Yes.
They have 0 seat in last election, and BC Liberals, they become BC NDP and they withdrawn their campaign. So Do you think this time the political scenario is different from the previous ones?
You know, it's different, and it's a little bit of the same. So it's very different in the sense that, you know, I'm sensing a lot of divisiveness. I'm sensing a lot of sort of harmful rhetoric, almost conspiracy theories from the BC Conservatives, from John Rustad. I mean, one of their candidates says that, you know, COVID vaccines will give you AIDS. Like, this is the type of rhetoric that we're dealing with in this province. And we're seeing some dangerous policies from John Rustad. I mean, just today, this morning, in the debate with David Eby and Sonia Fernstow now, he doubled down and said that he's not going to enforce, you know, federal gun laws. I mean, what does that mean for Surrey? So we're in some very uncharted territory here in the type of narrative that's coming from the BC Conservative. Divisive rhetoric and very dangerous for our communities. So that's very different from what I've experienced in the past. But where it is a little bit of the same is, I mean, they're called the BC Conservatives now. The other day they were called BC United, another day they were called the BC Liberals. We're seeing more of the same people, but their trajectory is charting off in a very dangerous direction. So it's different, but it's also the same. But based on all of this, all I know is that we can't go back to the Chrissy Clark days. We can't go back to the BC Liberal, the BC United days. We can't go back. We have to move forward, and there's only one hope. And that hope is with David Eby and the BC NDP team that actually looks out for middle-class families, that looks out for working-class families. So, you know, we're in some very weird times, but I'm confident that the people of this province are going to make the decision that takes us into a brighter future.
So, what makes Amna Shah the best candidate for Surrey City Centre?
Yeah, so you know what? I've been raised in this community. I grew up in this community. I know the challenges that we have in our community, the issues that are present. I have worked on the ground with people getting their problems solved over the years, whether it be through my professional work in government, whether it be through my nonprofit work at the Surrey Food Bank, and other nonprofit societies in partnership with them. I know what people need out here in Surrey City Centre and here in Surrey as a whole. And I have a demonstrated track record of actually helping people in my community. It's been a long life, or a long time service record that I've had. And I want to extend this in the form of a leadership capacity, in a leadership capacity. I want to do that. And there's no better time to do it than now, because we have an amazing leader, David Eby, and an amazing team, the BC NDP, that has also demonstrated a track record of helping working class families. And I want to be a part of that government. Why? Because I've seen that good governance affect my family in a positive way. I've seen it help my neighbors and my community. And really, we spoke before about the types of narratives and rhetoric that we're seeing. So if not me, who's going to do it? I need to step up, and that was the decision that I made, and I'm excited for the future.
Thank you very much, Amna, for sparing your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. ਦੋਸਤੋ, ਆਮਨਾ ਸ਼ਾਹ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਸਰੀ ਸਿਟੀ ਸੈਂਟਰ ਤੋਂ, ਜਿੱਥੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਐਨਡੀਪੀ ਦੇ ਬਰੂਸ ਆਸਟਨ ਜਿੱਤਦੇ ਰਹੇ ਆ। ਉਸ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਨਵੀਂ ਰਾਈਡਿੰਗ ਆ ਇਹ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਇਹ ਇਸ ਵਾਰੀ ਚੋਣ ਲੜ ਰਹੇ ਆ। ਸੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਾਣਿਆ। ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਾਕੀ ਉਮੀਦਵਾਰਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ।
ਸਾਡਾ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਵੇਖਣ ਤੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜਨ ਲਈ ਸਬਸਕ੍ਰਾਈਬ ਕਰੋ ਚੈਨਲ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਤੇ ਨੋਟੀਫਿਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਲਈ ਬੈਲ ਆਈਕਨ ਵਾਲੇ ਬਟਨ ਤੇ ਕਲਿੱਕ ਕਰੋ।